Chapter 21-27, Do You Dare to Fight Me? The two began a chase over the vast ocean. Zhang Yi did not attack, but simply fled. Joking aside, with a difference of more than 10,000 points in ability index, fighting head-on would be tantamount to suicide. What was he trying to achieve? Anyway, his purpose in coming here today was only to warn the other party and show the Huashu Kingdom's response. He wasn't fully prepared, so a fight to the death was impossible. The two chased each other across the ocean, and everyone watching held their breath. However, after chasing each other for a long time, they realized that even though Jinglu was faster than the most advanced fighter jet, he still couldn't catch Zhang Yi. As an ability user with both time and space attributes, he could predict Jinglu's movements and dodge in advance. That guy is really playing with fire. Shang Daowen said with emotion, his body trembling slightly, because once he was caught by the other party, even Zhang Yi would be doomed. However, Jinglu couldn't catch him. Zhang Yi had pulled away to a great distance in advance and was moving faster than Jinglu, so the other party had lost the possibility of catching him. Bastard, if you're still a warrior, then come and fight me to the death. Zhang Yi was fleeing in the distance when his intelligent system received such a message. He hooked the corners of his mouth and sent the message back loudly. A piece of trash who can't even catch me, what qualifies you to fight me? When Jinglu heard this message, his eyes turned red with anger. If you continue to hide, I'll kill everyone around you first. Zhang Yi said indifferently, go ahead, if you really dare to set foot on the land of the Huashu Kingdom, someone will naturally deal with you. He knew that Jinglu didn't have the guts to do that. If he did, he would have done it long ago. The information provided by the 6 silver armor generals showed that Jinglu was the Wulwan Empire's strongest warrior, a guardian deity-like existence. Therefore, his identity determined that he would not put himself in danger. Even if he wanted to be reckless, he had to consider the safety of the Wulwan Empire. After all, even if humans could not pose a threat to the Wulwan Empire after his death, there were still many other civilizations in the world that were eyeing it greedily. The planet's resources were limited. Would they let this piece of meat go? Jinglu was so angry that white smoke poured out of the corners of his mouth. However, he could not stay outside any longer. An underground race of his level would trigger the Creator's rules of creation if they remained on the surface for too long. Furthermore, his battle armor had been severely damaged, and his clan was unable to adapt to the outside environment. The composition of the air was too different from that underground, and the sun's ultraviolet rays made him extremely uncomfortable. Bastards! Just you wait, sooner or later, I'll kill every last one of you. Jinglu was filled with rage, but at the same time, he was a little panicked. Zhang Yi had grown too fast, and now it was certain that he had killed Pokong. Today, even Jinglu himself found it difficult to chase after Zhang Yi. All he could do was roar. Zhang Yi also said bluntly, Jinglu, you'd better not cause any more trouble in the future. If you send people to attack the Huashu Kingdom again, I'll kill every single one of them. You can't kill me now, but I can kill your men. From now on, it would be best if we just leave each other alone. Let's just forget about the past. But how could they forget about the past? The two sides had sworn mortal enmity and hated each other because too many people had died. Zhang Yi deliberately used this insolent tone to provoke Jinglu deep down. Zhang Yi really had an urge to lure Jinglu to the Qinling Mountains. With the majesty of the Dragon Clan, they would never allow a foreign clan to invade their territory. However, Zhang Yi quickly gave up on this idea. Doing so would inevitably offend the Dragon Clan, and he might end up getting killed himself. Jinglu was furious, but he couldn't continue chasing Zhang Yi. He suddenly felt powerless. Fighting Zhang Yi, a young man from a lower race who was far weaker than himself, was like boxing champion Mike Tyson boxing with a shadow. He stopped chasing and suddenly flew toward the Huashu Kingdom, as if looking for a place to vent his anger. I can't deal with you, Zhang Yi, but I can still deal with your people. He decided to kill more people from the Huashu Kingdom, so that at least he wouldn't disappoint the people of the Wulwan Empire. This sudden change of direction made the high-ranking officials of the 6 major regions turn pale. Chaos. Quickly stop him, he's coming this way. Han Shan's was screamed, his originally rough voice now turning into a high-pitched squeak. Fear caused him to jump up from his chair. The southeastern coastal area had already become a dead and desolate wasteland, but once entering the East Sea region, there were coastal cities in the Xinjiang region and Northeast region. Who knew what Xinglu would do to them and how many people would die? In the Xinjiang region, Meng Yuanjun and the others were also stunned. For a moment, even Hotu clenched her hands tightly, feeling extremely nervous. But Zhang Yi only glanced back in the direction of Xinglu. He thought for a moment and immediately came up with a countermeasure. So he also turned around and quickly flew towards Mist Valley on Star Island. Although I can't beat you, I can't stop you from attacking the Huashu Kingdom. However, there is no one in your Wulwan Empire who can stop me. Let's see who is more ruthless and who kills more. Come to think of it, the Wulwan Empire had been in a state of peace for a long time, with tens of millions of people living in a space equivalent to a small or medium-sized country. How many people would die if an enemy with the fighting power of a black bishop invaded, especially a powerful enemy who would stop at nothing to achieve his goals and was ruthless in his actions? The Hades gatekeeper was also stunned by Zhang Yi's actions. Originally, he wanted to use the other party's people to threaten Zhang Yi, but now the tables had turned, and the other party actually wanted to trade lives with him. The Huashu Kingdom was now vast and sparsely populated, and he could kill hundreds of thousands of people at most in a single attack. But if Zhang Yi killed his way into Mist Valley, who knew how many casualties there would be? Even though the Wulwan Empire had a complete defense system, Xinglu didn't dare to take the risk. He gritted his teeth, immediately turned around in midair, and flew over to intercept Zhang Yi. As soon as he gave chase, Zhang Yi immediately pulled away. Xinglu, if you insist on destroying our country and exterminating our people, I'll destroy yours. None of us will survive. Now it's your choice. Do you want peace or war? Zhang Yi conveyed his will to Xinglu in the form of radio waves from a great distance. Chapter 21-28, Xinglu's Anger. Xinglu endured the impatience in his body and coldly looked into the distance. With the help of high-end intelligent equipment, he was able to see the human in black armor standing in midair, ready to escape at any moment. This is not the end. Just wait and see. From today onwards, every day and every night, every minute and every second, you'd better stay alert. Because I may come to kill you, destroy your country, and wipe out your people at any time. After uttering these harsh words, Xinglu immediately flew towards Mist Valley on Star Island. Zhang Yi did not pay much attention to his harsh words. This was because Zhang Yi had not said a single word of truth from beginning to end. You, the gatekeeper of Hades, want to exterminate the entire Huashu Kingdom, so why wouldn't I, Zhang Yi, want to kill all of your people? What peace agreement? It's just a trap to confuse the other side. It makes the people of the Wulwan Empire think that the Huashu Kingdom is incapable of posing a threat to their stronghold in the short term. What Zhang Yi needed now was time. As long as the time was right and all his preparations were perfect, even if the Wulwan Empire didn't want to fight, it wouldn't be possible. The sea surface returned to calm, and Zhang Yi floated in midair, only then realizing that his heart was beating extremely fast. Even though he knew very well the distance he could travel with Space Shuffle and that he could escape from Xinglu's men, he couldn't help but feel nervous. But when faced with such a powerful enemy capable of killing him, it was impossible not to feel nervous. However, the high-ranking officials of the major regions who witnessed the outcome of the negotiations with their own eyes were all in an uproar when they saw the Hades gatekeeper give up the pursuit of Zhang Yi and be forced back to the underworld. Has chaos become that powerful? Even the almighty Hades gatekeeper is now powerless against him. Suddenly, I don't feel so afraid anymore. He's not a god, just a mutant who is a little more powerful than us. At that moment, many people's fear of the Hades gatekeeper faded away, and they were no longer under his spell. But I think this situation is actually quite good. Han Shan's spoke up. Now, Chaos and the Hades gatekeeper are in a state of mutual restraint. With him around, the Wulwan Empire won't dare to send people to attack us easily in the future. Then, is this battle still necessary? These words caused many people to think. However, it was quickly refuted by the soft-spoken Hotu. The current balance is only temporary. The people of the Wulwan Empire are not stupid. Sooner or later, they will discover that the Dragon Clan will not fight for us. Moreover, the restrictions on the underground civilization in this world are slowly weakening. When that time comes, they will still break out of the ground and attack us. Don't get your hopes up, or we'll die a miserable death. Due to their frequent contact with the Dragon Clan, the Xinjiang region had a lot of secrets about ancient times. Even if they didn't know as much as Zhang Yi, they still knew quite a lot. That's why Hotu was more clear-headed. Han Shanzhua frowned but didn't say anything else in the end. Zhang Yi stared at the direction Jinglu left in, and estimated in his mind that this time, he could at least give the other side a shock and delay them for a while. He didn't need too much time. 1 month of time to let Liu Karen repair the Tsan tribe's super warships and master how to use them, to let Liu Karen extract a large amount of energy substances to provide to the Mechanical Legion and to power Ling. Come to think of it, Zhang Yi felt a little embarrassed. He was really too dependent on Liu Karen. Sure enough, smart people were very useful. All that was left was to concentrate the resources of the major regions and train the mutants. We can't let our guard down yet. I'll keep an eye on the coastal areas during this time. We must prepare for the worst. If the Wulwan Empire is willing to gamble and launch an attack, I will take my people and leave immediately. But even if the worst happens and the Huashu Kingdom falls, I will kill more than 99% of the Wulwan Empire's tens of millions of people. Zhang Yi's worst-case scenario was to abandon his home. If you're not ruthless, your position will be unstable, and he never compromised with others. Only such ruthless methods could make others fear him and dare not bully him. Zhang Yi thought for a moment and sent a message to Li Guangxiao in the East Sea region. Commander Li, send your men to patrol the ocean area. Keep a close eye on the movements of the Wulwan Empire. If any of their people are on the move, let me know immediately, and I will take action. Li Guangxiao pondered for a moment before replying, we have sent people to patrol before, but they were all killed by the Wulwan Empire. We must not be soft-hearted when it comes to necessary sacrifices. We can use drones to coordinate patrols and minimize risk as much as possible. Zhang Yi said solemnly. All right, I understand. Li Guangxiao immediately ordered his soldiers to patrol the Southeast Sea area 24 hours a day. The sea area was too large, and drones alone were not enough, as their range was insufficient. Therefore, they had no choice but to send people out in boats. The risk was high, but in order to gather real-time intelligence on the sea area, they had no choice but to gamble with human lives. Zhang Yi returned to Blizzard City. This battle was a great relief for the people of Huashu Kingdom. At the very least, they had slapped the Hades gatekeeper in the face, greatly reducing the fear of the Wulwan Empire among the people of Huashu Kingdom. However, this was not without risk. Zhang Yi had exposed some of his strength, which would make the Hades gatekeeper wary. However, Zhang Yi didn't think it mattered. When the war really started, he wouldn't rely on himself to fight the Hades gatekeeper. He relied on Ling and Yang Xinxin's war plans and the massive Mechanical Legion. After Zhang Yi returned to Blizzard City, he found that Zhu Jing had arrived at the resettlement area in Tianhai City and was waiting for him at Tianhai Fortress. As soon as Zhang Yi returned, he brought a group of people with him and approached with a smile. Brother Zhang Yi, what you did this time was so satisfying. You really saved the face of the Huashu Kingdom. He stretched out his hand, and the mutants behind him appeared in front of Zhang Yi. Some were familiar faces, and some were new. Old acquaintances Tu Yunlai, Lingu Feishue, and the captain of the demon squad, Lu Huang, were all there. In addition to them, there were some newcomers. These people had already reached the peak of their potential, between 9,800 and 9,999 points. In theory, unless they encountered a strange event that caused a second mutation, or obtained the spirit of sacrifice in the source of God, it would be difficult for them to enter the realm of Epsilon. But they were already the second tier of mutants in Blizzard City.